Hey guys, welcome again to Questions for Your Quarantine. I think we're on episode 9 now, and today's question for us is how should I wait? And I hate waiting. I don't like waiting for anything. But for you and me, the question today is how should I wait, especially when we're being forced to wait, which is kind of like how I feel right now, that I'm being forced to wait. For you, what does that look like? How do you wait when you're being forced to wait? Do you wait really nervously and anxiously? Do you pace back and forth? Do you try to distract yourself by looking at your phone and trying to think of something else? Do you just get a really bad attitude while you wait very impatiently? Today, I want you to think about the Israelites with me. What God does and how He works and how they wait on Him in various times. One thing we know is that they waited for about 400 years in Egypt before God sends Moses to free them from slavery. And when he does, he works very quickly, it seems, through all kinds of miraculous ways, and they're freed from slavery. As they're escaping, God, even seemingly on command, parts the Red Sea for them to escape the soldiers from Egypt. As they're wandering through the desert, God provides for them water and food. They have a little doubt with God. As they're entering the promised land, they're forced to wait another 40 years. After that 40 years, they begin to go and they're going to take over the promised land. And it seems like God is poised to work in miraculous and quick ways again. And they come to the first city of Jericho. And God gives them a plan that is mostly waiting. It's really an exercise in obedience. They're supposed to walk around the city for 6 days, and then on the seventh day to walk around 7 times in silence, just walking and waiting for God to do what He's promised He's going to do. How would you have been? If you're one of those Israelites and you're walking with them, what would your attitude have been? I think by day 5, I would have been like, well, here we go again, walking around the city, just being quiet. And maybe there's some person from Jericho that's up on that big city wall and looking down and making fun. And I probably would have thought to myself, if I could just throw a rock over the wall, maybe I could hopefully hit somebody or something. Like, let me do something besides just sitting and waiting and just walking this same path day after day. So I think to myself that the Israelites and those maybe waited in two different ways. Maybe they waited, maybe they walked in skepticism, thinking, you know what, I don't know if God's really going to come through. I'm going to do this and I'm going to be obedient because I still follow God, but I don't really know if this is going to work, if this is going to work the way that I want it to work. And when you walk and you wait in skepticism, what that really ends up is when God actually does work, you're surprised by that. And you look around, you're like, oh, what do you know? God really did work. God did come through like He said He was going to. But there's another way, and I think a better way, that you and I can wait. And that's in confidence, knowing that God's going to do what He's going to do. I want you to imagine with me maybe one of those Israelite warriors walking around the city of Jericho in confidence, knowing that God is going to tear those walls down. And he's walking, and maybe it's that seventh lap on that seventh day. And he's just there, and he's waiting and walking and doing exactly what God's asked him to do, ready for the battle that's about to happen. And watching those walls come down. And as he rushes in to take over that city, imagine that confidence that God has given him as he's been waiting and been walking, that confidence then would lead to knowing again that God is with him even in the next battle. It would lead to his faith being even more increased that God's with him, that God has already won the battle that's in front of him. Man, what a way to wait in confidence. And I pray that I'm a person who can wait in confidence of God's sovereignty, knowing that God is doing exactly what He wants to do, how He wants to do it, when He wants to do it. And that it may be beyond my understanding, but I'm confident that God works in ways that are good for me. And they are to my benefit, but they are also to His glory. And I pray that you'll wait confidently with me. Even in this time when we're being forced to wait and it's uncomfortable, but I know that God has very big things that are happening. Even within our youth ministry. We've had people come to know Christ. We've seen one of our youth baptized. We have another one of our youth that's waiting for baptism to let people know exactly what God's been doing, even in this time where it seems like all we've been doing is waiting. God's been working. And I'm confident that whatever is next, that God goes before us, and that God's going to work for our good and for His glory. Let's wait in confidence together, knowing that God has big things ahead.